This is a summary of the Civil Commitment Reform and Public Safety Act of 2025 policy page. The bill addresses public safety, health, and human services. It seeks to abolish civil commitment under Chapter 253B and establish Chapter 253C. The aim is to ensure community-based treatment, constitutional due process, and independent oversight. Abusive practices, like penile plethysmograph testing, would be prohibited. The bill also requires psychiatrists for diagnosis and treatment, prohibits non-specified paraphilic diagnoses, and sets stricter evidentiary thresholds under former Chapter 253D. It redirects funds, requires reports, provides a sunset clause, and authorizes rulemaking. The legislature finds that civil commitment under Chapter 253B has operated as punitive confinement rather than therapeutic treatment. Individuals are routinely confined for extended periods prior to adjudication without immediate therapy or independent counsel. Therapeutic communications are withheld due to their potential use against individuals in court. Positions of confinement mirror penal institutions, and oversight structures lack measurable outcomes and accountability. Therefore, the purpose of Chapter 253C is to abolish civil commitment for sex offenders under Chapter 253B and establish evidence-based, community-centered alternatives that promote public safety, rehabilitation, and reintegration. The legislature intends that treatment and supervision be civil, non-punitive, and trauma-informed. Resources should be redirected to community programs, victim services, and constitutional rehabilitation. Due process rights should be guaranteed through trial-like procedures and independent counsel. Oversight and evaluation should ensure accountability and measurable outcomes. Abusive practices, including penile plethysmograph testing, should be prohibited and replaced with non-invasive alternatives. Community-based treatment means therapeutic services delivered outside confinement facilities. A panel of judges will hear civil commitment matters, with judges assigned from outside the county of the underlying criminal case to ensure neutrality. Effective the day following final enactment, no new petitions for civil commitment under Chapter 253B may be filed. All provisions of Chapter 253B relating to civil commitment of sex offenders are repealed as of December 31, 2027. Existing orders under Chapter 253B must be reviewed and transitioned to ensure non-punitive standards and immediate therapy access. The Commissioner of Human Services shall establish a phased transition plan to community-based treatment and supervision under Chapter 253C, including individualized treatment plans, housing support, employment services, victim services coordination, and public reporting of aggregate outcomes. $110 million is redirected from civil commitment operations under Chapter 253B to programs under Chapter 253C for community-based treatment and victim services. A statewide task force is established to oversee the transition, develop implementation benchmarks, recommend standards for treatment providers, and report annually to the legislature. An independent civil commitment review board is created to ensure compliance with Chapter 253C and review grievances. Courts must maintain neutrality through rotation or panel assignment. Communications made in the course of therapy are privileged and may not be used as evidence against the individual. The use of penile plethysmograph testing is prohibited in all proceedings. No state agency may possess or utilize child pornography for assessment or treatment. All diagnostic evaluations and treatment plans must be conducted and overseen by licensed psychiatrists. The diagnosis of paraphilic disorder, not otherwise specified, is prohibited. An individual may not be classified as having a sexual psychopathic personality based solely on circumstantial evidence or a non-sexual criminal history. $110 million is appropriated from the general fund for fiscal years 2026-2027 for implementation of Chapter 253C. The abolition of civil commitment reduces long-term confinement costs, and savings shall be reinvested into community supervision and victim services. All provisions of Chapter 253C must be fully implemented by December 31, 2027, and civil commitment under Chapter 253B must be fully abolished. This concludes the summary of this bill.